couple of more, and Nicholson Cemetery number 1, which is really the Roderick Nicholson and his family. There's about 26 graves in there, but earliest burial 1840. A lot of these seem to be, notice, a lot of them kind of on the western side of Caddo.
How did you get the information about that one? This one here?
Oh, the one?
Sorry.
Oh,
This is a family cemetery?
yeah, it's a famous.
Okay. What is the latest in the cemetery? Most recent?
Well, most recent. Well, in this one, there hasn't been anybody buried there in quite a while.
Do any of them have a recent grave?
Let's see.
I'm just curious if they're still allowed to even bury somebody.
Now, Epps, I'm not sure. There may be, it could be still burying some people in the Epps, not many.
That would be interesting to know.
And I know Greenwood Town Cemetery there already. I don't believe they're burying anybody in the Forest Park. And McMillan, no, there hasn't been anybody, I don't think, buried in McMillan in a long time. And these last two are Nicholson Cemetery number 1 and Nicholson number 2. There's both of those. No, there haven't been any recent burials. Nicholson number 1 is, okay, it's located, here's Mansfield Road. Here's where Jewella comes into Mansfield Road. This is Nikki's right here. Now, when I went to go check it out, I went through here. There's an apartment complex, and here I went to the back of the apartment complex.
Maybe
and there's some woods. There's some woods in here, and went through here. You can also, this Torrento Lane. The only thing is, you would have to go through someone's backyard.
Yeah.
And they're not too happy with that. In fact, I think now they put a gate across their driveway and made it so you can't really get.
What does it say down there in blue? Did you walk from where that road comes on there?
Well, no, I think the apartment complex.
There's a dirt road.
There's the parking lots, and I think I was able to get back here. And there's woods in here. That Nicholson number 1 is, what happened is the people who live in that house supposedly got upset about people coming through the yard. So, I don't know if it's true or not, but they said the owner went into the cemetery and knocked down every single marker.
And
he knocked down every marker in the cemetery. Now,
that's
which is,
the man that moved it?
well, that's what they say. There are 13, and there's 26 graves, and I did visit there, and most of them are on the ground. Now, I don't think he knocked out. I'd say he knocked down every single one, but there were a lot of them flat and they were on the ground. And so what happened is a descendant of the Nicholsons, she was so upset, she ended up putting a 10-foot fence around the cemetery. It's a chain link fence, but it's about, I don't know if it's really, they say it's 10 feet, but I climbed over it. it's really more like 8 feet. It's still, there is, and there's no gate. The only way to get in is to climb over.
Oh, my goodness.
It's, and she's, I don't know.
There's no gate to it to get in
Well,
there and mow?
No, I think there is a gate that's kept locked, and it's a fairly small cemetery, but nobody's really kept it up. It's in bad condition. I wish they would try to get maybe Boy Scouts or somebody to help with it. And I think some of the markers still might be lying flat, need to be turned over, turned back upright. So that one is, here's one of them from that. This is the wife of Roderick Nicholson. She was a Quarles, Susan Ann Quarles, and she was born in Selma, Alabama. Her father was a Daniel Quarles, and she and Roderick had about 3 sons and 1 daughter. I think her, can't really tell from this photo, but I would think that's probably one that may be on the ground. So about all of them not all of them were broken when they were turned over, but you may need some equipment to get some of them upright. These are the photos of 2 of the people, that are a couple that are buried in that cemetery. This, Elizabeth Louisa was the sister of Roderick, born in 1810. And she was born, Sarah Elizabeth Louisa was born in Marlborough County, South Carolina. Okay, the next one, Nicholson Cemetery number 2. Angus Nicholson was the brother of Roderick, and I'll show you where he lived was not far from his brother, but they each had their own, family cemeteries. There's 13 graves in that one. Earliest burial, 1858.
So the first one was Roderick, and this was
Angus.
They didn't want to all be buried. Some cemetery.
Okay, where this one is, here is Walker Road. Mansfield Road's over here. This is Jewel. And
that's Walker.
And that's Walker going here. Down here is the inner loop. And this is Meriwether Road. And where the star is. And I have been to that, I've been to that one. Went there several times, because the first time I went there, I didn't know exactly where it was, and I went to one of the houses, and they said no, there's no cemetery around here. We don't have any graveyard. Well, I think they did, but they just not. So the next time I went, I had a couple of friends, and we looked all over, and we couldn't seem to find it. But then finally, I had I had GPS coordinates the 3rd time, and I was able to find it. It was hard to find. It was wooded, but anyway, now a lot of this property along Meriwether Road, the city of Shreveport owns. They bought up the property because it's close to the airport. But people were complaining that airport noise the airplanes were causing too much noise. And the airport authority decided to go ahead and they bought a lot of people's property right on Maryland.
When was that?
It must have been about 12 years, maybe 10 years ago. It's
Longer than that.
could be as much as 12, 13 years ago. Okay, there's Angus's marker. And there hadn't really been too much vandalism in this one. It's just the elements. It's been abandoned, and the elements have really taken a toll on.
Did you guys clear out around it, kind
I did, and I don't know if anybody, now the city owns, well, the city is in control of that area. They don't, the city can't really own this Nicholson Cemetery, but I don't know what condition it's in right now. When I was there, it was probably about 14 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. And this is Angus's wife, Mary Youngblood. See, hers is still upright. Okay, so these are ones, so that's the end of the ones doing today.
So this is part two.
This is the ones that I think I'm going to do. They're all these 7 of them here, and I may even have maybe another one or so. But these are all really old ones in Caddo, and yeah, I think these are going to be the ones I'll do for part 2. The same thing. A lot of these just seemed like how the population was during that time, during the 1840s, 50s. These seem to be all in the western part of Caddo. Hollingsworth is out there. Bethany, of course, is right on the border. The Mooring, not sure exactly where, if that one's near Mooringsport. Now the Hoss Cemetery is not, even though Halston was named after the Hoss family, this one is not near Halston. It's near, it's on the western part. The Hosses lived there before somebody moved up near Halston. The Full of Love, and they did spell Full of Love at that time with an A instead of an I. And then Bickham, and then Spring Ridge. So those are the ones I'll have probably in October.
Is that where all that land just south of Shreveport, named from Bickham Park? Over there with a lake on it, water on it. Spring Ridge, Full of Loves. When I was growing up, there used to be some bunch of Full of Loves down that way.
Yeah, the Full of Loves. I haven't been to, now these cemeteries, might try to visit. I haven't really visited any of these, but I'm going to try to. They're on Find a Grave. These two markers in the front here, those are from the Bethany Cemetery, and those are John Scoggin and his wife Mary.